Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of History After Hours. My name is Kevin Pumphrey, and with me on this episode is Mr. Ron Franklin, Miss Emily Diedrich, and Mr. Lewis Jolly. We are history teachers at Lakeside High School in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We are recording this on May the 2nd, 2024, live at Collective Coffee in downtown Hot Springs. We want to thank them once again for having us out. This is our last podcast for the 2024 year, at least the last live podcast. So we want to say congratulations and say goodbye and good luck to the class of 2024. And we talk a little bit about that. We also talk about, life advice, historical counterfactuals, and we got a special surprise as the Budweiser Clydesdales walked down the street. And so a lot of us went out to look at that. But with all that being said, we hope you enjoy the podcast. Hello and welcome again. This is History After Hours. We are at Collective Coffee. The date is May the 2nd.
Yes.
Great. It's a Thursday. This is the last podcast of the school year. So we have a bunch of students staring at us. We have a line of students. They need participation points. And so they're going to ask questions. And here we go.
Ready.
My name is Joshua Weed. And as y'all know, tomorrow is the seniors' last day of high school ever. And I was going to ask you, what is your favorite memory that the class of 2024 has been a part of?
Wow. Out of all of the memories that we might have?
Well, I will say I have the unique privilege of probably everybody up here of seeing some of you, like Weed, from the 7th grade, from little baby Weed.
Just growing like a weed.
Just growing to growing into what, getting a glimpse of what you're going to be in as an adult, which is going to be an awesome person, by the way. I love you, my man. But that is always my favorite memory as a coach, just seeing people from the 7th grade and then just continuing on with them for 5-6 years. It's a great experience.
Yeah, I'll second that idea rather than try to pick one, because that would be isolating, I think, and very difficult in this. But for myself, let's say I see you guys come in as sophomores, you're barely not 9th graders. You've still got one foot in a playground. And for you to come in then and to watch you transform into who you're about to be and watch you launch off into the world, like that's just always special. It just really, really is. And it's important for you guys to know that we do watch and appreciate how much you've grown over those years. I mean, it's really a big transformation, whether you realize it or not, because you're doing it one step at a time, day after day. But we get to see it cumulatively, and it's really impressive.
Yeah, the class of 2024, and so I remember y'all were my Ram. Some of you are in my Ram fam. I see some Ram fam folks. So I remember y'all in 8th grade, and I've had you every year. And I didn't acknowledge you till 10th grade. I understand that, but you were there, and I was there. And so graduation's coming, and we're contractually obligated to be there, and so that's going to be a special moment as well.
My Ram fam is seniors, and my very first year walking into Lakeside, very first year teaching ever, I walk in, they're 10th graders, I'm their new Ram fam teacher, their last one left. And so I feel like I've kind of grown with my Ram fam, being a new teacher and experiencing things for the first time. And my Ram fam also has a problem with, well, not my entire Ram fam, a few people have problems with flatulence in class. Oh. And that's been fun dealing with that, I guess. But I just have watched them grow, and I feel like I've grown in the last few years, and that's been fun to see.
You've been on this journey together.
Yeah.
We've watched you grow. Good job. I'm slowly shrinking. People are watching me.
So, I don't know. I'm still going to cherish watching you push that freaking grill down the hall today, all day, everywhere you went. That was just kind of a nice way to cap off the career. Yeah. Yep. All right. Thank you.
All right. My name is Jack Krause. My question for you is, who is a worse person, King Henry VIII or Donald Trump?
Okay, worst person. So that's different than worst leader, worst, we're talking about the person, ad hominem, the character. Take it away.
Well, yeah.
Everyone's a sinner.
You said Henry VIII, right? Okay.
Yeah, that's an interesting... Okay, step back up to the mic. Why did you pair those two together in your question? I'm just curious.
Well, I was thinking of people like historical figures in my head, and then I was like, hey, Donald Trump and Henry VIII kind of look alike a little bit. So
Yeah, until Trump starts lopping off people's heads,
Yeah.
we're going to go with Henry VIII on that one. I know it was a different time, but still, to behead 2 of your ex-wives, that's that's one too many for my taste.
I don't know.
No, I'm kidding.
How many wives has Trump buried, though? I mean, is it just the one?
Well, just the one is ex-wife, and Henry killed him instead of cheating on him, so I guess that makes him
No, he
the
did
worst-
both.
worst
So,
part.
so,
well,
yeah.
both, yeah,
Yeah.
So he's the worst because he's got the tiebreaker. He
Yeah, so if
cheated,
you're
then he
talking about-
killed.
This is going to sound weird, but if you're talking body count in both ways that it could mean, then it's probably Henry VIII.
Also, just you got to take. We're talking about wives, ex-wives. So the sanctity of marriage. People don't realize Ronald Reagan in 1980 was our first divorced president. Every president before that was either a bachelor or a widower.
Or had tunnels.
They had mistresses, of course.
Yeah. Nice Kennedy reference there, yeah.
But they had to leap over. The Republicans really had to stretch to go for Reagan because he had been divorced, and that was a big no-no. Of course, now it's not as big of a deal. But I guess them two are still the only presidents that have been divorced. So we don't think of it as big of a deal. But it wasn't that long ago. It was a really big deal. But once again, killing people, and you talk about a narcissist. I mean, I know that we talk about Trump that way. King Henry VIII was not, I wouldn't say he's a giving person and selfless.
Oh no, he was a selfish bastard, is what he was. And he had ultimate authority, which Trump has not had that kind of power yet. I'll go ahead and throw the yet in there because we'll see what transpires. Maybe he could become. Maybe he aspires to be Henry VIII. Maybe that's what it is. Like we'll see.
Actually, Trump might have had more power as president than King Henry VIII ever had.
He's definitely
when you
wealthier.
think about globally,
Yeah, which then gives him. I know, maybe.
no check on his power.
well, is January 6th comparable to all the beheadings?
Well, that also you can't just squarely blame Trump for that,
Right.
Unless he was in there with it too, and we didn't know it. The beheadings is an order by King Henry VIII, and then the other is very legally questionable. Once again, when you start talking about ad hominem, personality, character, it's really tough. It's not a very scientific or objective way to compare people, so it's hard to do.
So you're saying that Henry VIII might have wanted to have been Trump? What could you imagine? him
Imagine Henry VIII with all the power that Trump actually had
as president?
as commander in chief,
Yeah, but
and so in a way that makes Trump look a lot better that he didn't just start.
Yeah, I
nuking.
suppose so. Yeah, sure.
All right,
thank you, sir.
next question.
Hi, I'm Mary Lopez, and I was wondering how might Abraham Lincoln's Reconstruction plans have resulted in a different outcome for the post-Civil War United States if he hadn't been assassinated?
Do it again.
Yeah, I've thought about this quite a bit. That if Lincoln had lived, look, we were lucky as the United States to have Lincoln at the moment our country fell apart. He definitely didn't plan on freeing the slaves until it became a military strategy for him. He always wanted to free the slaves, but until he was able to come out and do it to actually win the war, he couldn't do it. Once he did that, and you would think, if he's ever going to be assassinated, it's about the time he becomes president or right after. What's crazy is he gets assassinated after the war's over, pretty much. I mean, there's still some battles, there's still some fighting. So the question is, had he lived, would things been different? I say yes. I don't think maybe long term, but he would have went head to head with the radical Republicans. He was not as radical as what the Republicans actually did. I don't think we passed the 15th Amendment if Lincoln lives, which gives black men the right to vote. We might not have even passed the 14th Amendment. We probably would have, but that would have been much closer than it actually was because the radicals took over, pushed it so far that it backlashed, and now Reconstruction is seen a failure because it led to 100 years of segregation. So, if there was any politician skilled enough to thread the needle, Lincoln was the one, but we'll never know.
That was a very thorough explanation.
Thank you.
We all
A-push
concur.
right there. Mr. A-push.
I could keep going.
Thank you.
My name's Richard Lance. So, say our country was falling apart. If you guys would have to move.
You're supposing that?
Yes, I'm supposing that. Our country is falling apart.
Oh,
It is, or is this a hypothetical?
Hypothetically.
okay.
So, say if it was,
Seems
what
hyperbolic.
country would you guys move to?
If
And live
if
in.
everything fell apart, where would we go?
Yes.
What did you say?
Gonna start
And
the
why?
Canada national anthem.
You assume Canada will let you in.
Yeah, maybe not.
They're building a wall. I don't know. Jeez.
I know. We built the
I mean,
wall, and we're the ones wanting to go over it.
I don't know. Where would you go? where is safe and who would accept you? Have you ever seen those disaster movies like 2012 or the Day After Tomorrow where everything just completely falls apart, or there's a natural disaster and then everybody from the United States flees southward into Mexico? That's a fun flip on its head kind of thing. Not that disasters are fun. I'm just saying.
Well, what happens in those movies,
go.
Mexico, it's a reverse immigration issue, and they always fight back and protest. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm world traveled enough to know that for sure. But it would probably be somewhere with a beach, coastal.
Well, Southern Italy is beautiful.
If the United States is falling apart, the worldwide ramifications for any westernized, industrialized society is going to domino with it, probably. So I'm going to somewhere really remote, really coastal, and just try to make the best of it till they figure out where I'm from.
What about Florida? We could go there. Oh, wait, that's part of... Never mind.
Yes.
For now. Okay, so go back to what I said, though, about would they accept you? Like, that's a real circumstance. You assume that you're the only one moving. If there's a disaster and the country falls apart, there may be, depending on the severity of the situation, there may be millions of people trying to travel. You'd be caught up in that flow, and then there would be blocking mechanisms because lots of people suddenly moving in one direction or another. There are gonna be obstacles that are set up to slow that down, just from a logistical standpoint. So we're hugely assuming then that wherever we would go would give us amnesty or some sort of throw out the welcome mat for it. I don't know that that's actually true, depending on the volume of people that are moving.
Are you saying sometimes people in other countries get upset when people are trying to come to their countries when things go really bad in their
mass?
country?
Yeah, in mass suddenly. Yeah, there are tricky situations there because you have to figure out. We actually just got through talking about this. How many people are coming? Why are they coming? Where are they located? Is there a choke point? Do you have the infrastructure to deal with all of that and to manage that? Feed, house, clothe, give medical assistance to find new, and then be able to vet it. Who's safe, who's not, who's here for legitimate reasons, who's not. Like, all of that has to be figured out. It's not just so easy as snapping your fingers and going, come on in. I mean, it's really just not. Even though that's said, you have to figure out how to handle that volume of people.
Yeah, in the vetting process, what can you bring to the country that you're fleeing to? I mean,
Is that a requirement?
If you're running a country in that situation, it probably will be. They'll take doctors and scientists and people like that first before a broke-down history teacher.
Most of the people that are going to be fleeing the situation aren't going to be doctors and lawyers. They're going to be people who are subsistence farmers trying to get away from some sort of situation, and now they've come to the border, and you go, sorry, you're not a doctor. You can't get in?
Yeah, that's what they'll say. In Richie's situation, probably so.
Okay, well, we're screwed.
Yeah, but I'm definitely out of the mix.
And by the way, not the whole country will be leaving. Half the country will have won this thing, and they're staying. So we could be living like kings, depending on what section won.
Yeah, maybe.
Although, being from Arkansas, it's going to be quite the feat to get out of a landlocked state. I think the rich will be fine. They'll figure out a way.
Landlocked, you got Mississippi River right there.
That's true. Yeah, we'll be floating down the Mississippi River.
Hopefully not in
By
body
the way,
bags.
just side note, it does feel like everything's going horribly, but there's still millions of people dying to get to our country, so it can't be going that bad. I mean...
Let's back up all the way and go, it's not falling apart.
Yeah.
So, thumbs up for us, yes. Hello,
My name is Mason McElrath, and I was wondering if you could eliminate one music genre, what would it be and why?
Bagpipes. Anything with bagpipes. I love Irish music and Scottish. We were just there in Ireland and Scotland. But the bagpipe, that whole thing needs to...
You don't think it has its place anywhere?
It does not.
Well, you're the music guy, so
I
I'll
don't
bow
get
down to
it.
your knowledge.
It's an organ, a handheld organ, but it feels like there's a few of those pipes.
It's like a bag
off.
full of dying cats, yes? Just
Yes. They're loud, too.
Is it like a sub-genre or an overall genre? Because mumble rap really gets... Is it mumble? What is that, mumble rap?
That's mumble.
Is mumble rap? The
I
peanut
would-
butter and rap thing, the Nelly commercial? That
I would think more like main, like rap, pop, metal, something like that.
pop.
if it had to go,
Pop.
if I had to say, it would be pop, probably.
Pop.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, pop is popular music. You can get rid of, or take everybody else's music
he asked
away.
me what I would want to have. If you had to
Sorry.
lose a mainstream thing.
I was thinking like polka.
Oh,
And, let's give people their pop music. Some of it's all right, but boop.
Are you saying just because something popular, it's not necessarily good?
No. Yeah. See?
Here we go again.
Yeah. How many of you, because I know I was forced by my students to watch the JoJo Siwa music video. Were any of you forced to watch it?
I don't know what that is.
No, they cannot force me to do anything.
I watched it, and I will never sleep again.
What is it?
That's
JoJo Siwa, like the Dance Moms little dancer, came out with a song, Karma something, and it's disturbing. Some people like it. If it's your taste, that's great. Whatever, you can enjoy it. Not me.
Maybe, I mean, there's different levels of pop music too. I guess that's the block. I was thinking block features.
Yeah,
Just
if you
one
pick
main
block.
That's my
genre.
least favorite, I guess. Dang, way to throw a good one at us. That's hard. Yeah. Polka. Anything with
Although
an
I like ska.
anything
You
with
like
an
the chicken dance at
anything
ball
with an
games, though.
accordion though. I mean, but more than once, it's going to be like, pushing you into psychosis.
Fair enough.
My name is David Olm. If you had to choose between the Titanic disaster, 9/11, or the disaster at Chernobyl, which would you choose for it not to have happened?
I would say 9/11 because that led to a 20-year war, and the ramifications of that is still being felt
More
today.
lives were lost. The backlash of it really changed the world. Some of those other things, you just never know. With the Titanic, it was so long ago, 1912. Maybe it didn't change anything, but if those people had lived, I don't know. That's a lot of people to change the world.
Do you think the only reason we know about that is because there were rich people on there that died? If it was a boat full of immigrants, they probably would have been.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been like no news
For
at
sure.
all.
Yeah, and it's maiden voyage.
The unsinkable. Yeah, probably. I say 9/11. It has to be because if you take that entire story, it's global ramifications. Yeah, you're right. Titanic. Yeah.
All right, my name's Hunter Bullock, and so say it's Thanksgiving time. What are you picking, ham or turkey?
Oh, Thanksgiving, turkey.
Turkey.
I've always been a turkey person, but I've recently changed to ham.
Okay, why?
Okay, so this is kind of a long backstory. I've always been responsible for cooking my family's turkey since the time I could know how to do it safely and not poison anybody. And it's a lot of work. Cooking a turkey is a lot of work. So this past Thanksgiving, I bought a spiral ham from Weldon's,
Yeah.
and it was
Saved
easy.
yourself some steps.
Yeah, so now,
Was there a family feud over this change in meal choice?
no, I mean, beggars can't be choosers if they're not cooking.
Gotcha.
It doesn't matter.
I like her attitude. She's growing up before our very eyes, folks, right here. She says, no, take it and you'll like it.
What kind of fancy thing are you doing with your turkey that makes it so complicated, though? I mean,
It's not so that, okay, if you buy all the fresh herbs and then you have a citrus and like celery and onion and all that, stuff your turkey, and then you have to have like a butter rub on the outside. It's more so the time. Like you got to get up early in the morning and start it.
Look,
I really learned how to cook a turkey in my high school facts class.
You grew up in Piercy, Arkansas, right? Somewhere
Yeah.
out there? You never fried a turkey?
I've never fried a turkey, no.
you've had fried turkey.
No, I've actually never had a fried turkey either.
Then you're a turkey person. You can't say it until you've had fried turkey.
Well, no, she's the one cooking it, though. Like, it's
Yeah, when I started cooking when I was 15, I don't think they want a 15-year-old
she's
frying
wrong.
a turkey.
Which animal would you have an easier time killing? I think a turkey. They're harder to hunt, first of all.
And they're ugly. If you look at them in
And
the
you
beady
just-
little eyes, they're not a very
A little
attractive.
grab of the neck, one of those.
Pigs are kind of cute.
That squeal. That would. Sorry.
grew up on a farm.
Okay, sorry.
Which animal would be easier to kill for Thanksgiving if you had to do your own?
If you got to do it all. We're talking
Yeah.
about all of it.
On a physical or moral level.
I'm thinking I'm going turkey.
Turkey.
Who cares about the taste? You got to kill this thing. All right, sorry.
All right, come on.
What are y'all's thoughts on going to a community college first and transferring to a university? Do you think that would affect getting a job in the future or getting to a grad school after college?
Absolutely not. I started at community college. Nobody's going to care. Like that. I mean, realistically, there's a lot of people who will go to university because they feel like they need to, or there's some sort of like family tradition to do that, or there's some sort of status that goes along with, whatever. I can't start here, I can't start there, I have to go to this particular place. At the end of the day, did you get an education and do you have skills and can you market yourself based on those skills? The piece of paper that has the embossed logo of some particular institution is going to be secondary, generally speaking, than the type of education that you actually got.
Yeah. I've hired people as part of a GM. I was a dean of students, so I helped hire people at schools. They don't care what grade you made in high school. They don't care what college you went to. They look for, there's two things. Are you certified in the field you're applying for? And number two, when they meet you, are you going to do anything that's going to embarrass us? That's the two big things. Then after that, how good are you at your job, the skills and stuff like that. But I don't think anybody's ever dug through my high school records or what college I went to. Just be undeniable in the interview and put enough on your resume to show you're well-rounded. With tuition prices, do not go blindly into college, people. That was okay when you were my age, when school was much, much, much cheaper. It's 10 times more now. Don't, unless it's paid for, don't get yourself in a world of debt when, 80% of people change their majors, 50% of people don't graduate, so, and you're stuck with this. I know things are changing, but still, I would, community colleges, especially if you're undecided, get your basics out of the way.
And if you need to work while you're going to school for whatever the reason might be, it shouldn't be a knock. Now, the exception to that might be that if you're going into some specific type of field and you know that you're going to be, like, say, you're wanting to be lawyer, politician, diplomat, something like that, then perhaps the networking that goes along with a major university, Ivy League possibly would make a difference, perhaps, because then you would meet other people who would then help you along the way to enable your career to launch. So, like I said, there are some caveats to that, but generally speaking, no.
Well, and economically speaking, you have some university systems, the 2-year institutions are part of a larger university systems. Sometimes you can go there and you lock in their rate when you transfer within that university system, so it saves you money. And on a side note, when you said don't do anything to embarrass yourself or the employer, graduates, remember your social media gets to follow you everywhere now.
Oh, yeah.
When I was hiring people as dean of students and a head coach, the last things we would look at, and this was 6-7 years ago, 8 years ago, we would look at the social media presence of that hiree. What kind of pictures are they putting on there and things like that. It's very important depending on the job you have, the community you're going to be working in, those sort of things. So
y'all, it's so funny because y'all worry a lot about what to put on a resume or your grades and all this stuff. The people, they're going to call people The reference section, they will call some folks. Mm-hmm. Usually they talk to people they already know that know you. But if they don't know anybody, they might call your references and say, hey, tell me about this person. Should we hire them? And, those honest conversations do a lot. That and are you certified?
I mean, I would agree with that arguably your references are more important than anything else on your resume, because if you have the same education, the same certification, all of that as someone else that's applied for the exact same job as you, but the people that are speaking on your character praise you highly, you're more likely to get a job than anybody else.
I've been on several hiring committees in business and also, now that I'm in education, and there's not a single time when I have looked at where that person got their education, where they graduated through. I would look at the types of classes, the types of things that they went through. Did you push yourself? How did you, if you stumbled, how did you come back from that? Perseverance matters a lot as well, because that shows a lot about your character, and that is a genuine asset for you. I will say this, go back to what Pumphrey said about debt, and this is something you guys need to think about. And I saw this statistic the other day, which stunned me, because it's so much more expensive than we went through. And I know I went first time through, it was like 40 years ago, but still, it's outrageously more expensive. And some, and I don't know if this is state colleges, I want to say it's true, that a semester at some colleges are pushing like $70,000, $80,000, $90,000 per semester. I can't fathom that. And a person who used to sit on this panel told me, and he's quick to share this with other people too, in his professional career, and he had to go to certain channels to get the degree that he has and that he's working through. But he's still, even at this point, this many years later, decade or so after his graduation, still paying off student loans and will be probably for the next 30 years. Like that follows you forever. And you can't, this is something for you to know, guys. If you have to take out student loans, you can never cancel that debt. You can get bankruptcy protection and lots of other things in your life. You cannot cancel your student loan debt. Take that into consideration when you are making decisions about your life moving forward. Okay? Not to try to scare you, but you need to be aware of that. You can't get out from under it, and you will pay it off sooner or later. That's a good question. Thank you.
My name is Harper Pullen. I'm just curious, what's your guys' favorite card game to play in your free time?
So I just discovered this new game called Kings on the Corner, because me and my daughter play cards a lot with Go Fish and all the normal poker, all that stuff. But Kings on the Corner, check it out. I enjoy that game right now.
Well, what is that? What do you do? Explain
Hard
the
to
rules.
explain.
Yeah, okay.
But it's easy once it's kind of like a multi-person solitaire game, but you're still trying to run out of cards. First one to run out wins. And that's all we play for the last probably year straight. That's how much we like it. So there's that. Kings on the Corner.
Sounds complicated. I like Uno.
Go Fish. Do you have any threes?
Go Fish.
Growing up, my family played some pretty aggressive games of spoons. Have you
Oh, yeah.
you don't know what spoons is? So, well, you need to play spoons. It gets violent sometimes. But besides that, Skip-Bo was my other favorite.
One. Yeah.
I've been in fistfights over Uno before in college. That was the traveling to football games preferred game. Now, we literally invented.
Somebody got smacked with double reverses and
yes, it gets violent. Pushing, shoving, cussing.
Y'all on the same team.
But it's Uno, man. You don't draw one. You're supposed to be my friend. Relationship advice: never sit next to your significant other in Uno. It's a terrible thing.
Hey, my name is Peja Eric, and I want to know, so you guys know that the last 2 weeks of school, we're not going to be doing anything, or we're supposed to do something creative in classes. Would you guys be interested in running a poker game in your period?
Where's my visor? I was hoping somebody would ask.
I'm more of a craps. I'm more throwing dice, maybe.
That's creative.
I don't. They're supposed to be planning stuff.
Right.
That was their whole pitch, was they were going to come up with a bunch of activities and stuff. I have a feeling it's just going to be sheer chaos. I don't know. The problem is we can't commit to anything because we might have students in our class because they didn't get pulled out for whatever, that they've planned. The administration, I think, is planning stuff. Self-help, driver's ed. I've heard all this stuff, but I haven't heard anything for sure. So
yeah, honestly, we're pretty much in the dark about what's going to happen those last 2 weeks. I mean, we've been told multiple things, and they haven't actually come to a decision about what we should or shouldn't do or what we should plan or not plan. So, I mean, it's still kind of up in the air. Poker, I have not heard as part of the agenda yet. I mean, we can talk to the admin about that and see.
We could play poker, and we could lock everybody in our classes into a room by yourselves, and we'll go play poker. That seems more fun. And y'all can just do whatever. It's Lord of the Flies in there. Let's go. See who survives.
Hi, I'm Morgan, and then what's the latest quote that you've heard that's changed you in a positive way?
I have a good one.
All right, go.
Especially for y'all, or the kids. I would have loved to have heard this earlier in life. I'm not going to remember the exact wording, but it's basically, remember that your parents are still growing up for the first time. That this is their first go on earth. They're experiencing stuff still for the first time. Even though they may be in their 40s, 50s, whatever, they're still learning things. And so when you get frustrated and you get upset, they still don't know the answer all the time. It's really opened my eyes to just a lot of things.
That's a good one. I can't think of one right off the top of my head. Can you?
Yeah, I heard one the other day that I really liked. And again, I cannot remember it exactly, but it was someone saying, once you see things, all things broadly, you see everything. And basically it means, make sure you take in the big picture of things. And I was telling this to someone the other day because she kept saying, why can't we do, it was always the question of why cannot we do it this way? I was like, well, there's so many other factors that everyone must consider when, something like a school operates. Even we as teachers, we are not privy to every bit of information that our superintendent is dealing with all the changes with the funding and all that stuff. And we are always quick to, we should do it like this. And why don't they do this, and this? And we need this. And then it comes down to, well, are you willing to eliminate a person? Are you willing to eliminate a program to pay for your program? Or who are you going to take away to put that person in a position? So that one really helped remind me that there's so many things going on that I have no idea about. And it keeps me calm, because I'm sometimes a little reactionary in my response to things.
I've got a list of top 10 quotes on my computer, and there's some great ones about money and stuff like that. But I will say, on a side note, there are two things I would say that's related to having a good quote. Most people want to have a better well-being, which means living a happier life. Like if you just go up to somebody and go, what do you really want in life? And it'll be, I just want to be happy. That's what most people want. It seems that being honest with everyone around you and yourself, if you can figure out a way to do that, and being grateful for what you actually already have, those seem to be two very key ingredients. So I try to remind myself every day to be honest, and not with the people around me. That's become a lot easier, but with myself. You tell yourself, I'll study tomorrow. I'm sure I'll do this. Be honest with yourself. Who are you really, and what are you really going to do? And then secondly, just be thankful. Just sit for a second every day and be thankful. even just being born in the United States, you've won the lottery. You know, that we are 15% of the world. There are many, many places that are struggling. There's war rubble. There's dead bodies on the streets. I mean, good grief. Just being able to do this, that kind of can lift your spirits if you're feeling down, just sitting and thinking for a second. So there's my quote.
Okay, so it came to me as you guys were talking that I'm going to have to give you a little scenario first. Because I heard somebody asking a philosopher, and they were like, why can't we experience time while we're asleep? You go to sleep, and then you wake up like, it was like an instant later. It's like, oh, God, where'd that time go? And I actually said this not too long ago. I was like, I wish I could feel the length of the time that I'm asleep like I feel the length of the day that I'm awake. And basically, the instantaneousness of like waking up, you're like, oh, yeah. So, and the explanation was that you imagine that there's this past, and you have this imagination that there's this future, but really the only thing that you have is that all you have is like this very moment. And it's just a series of continuous moments, and you can't really go faster or slower. And people, without realizing it, maybe sometimes live in that imaginary past. Oh, I wish I could go back and change this, or I wish I wouldn't have said that, or I wish whatever. And then you get stuck there. Or you're so busy projecting into the future that you miss what's happening in front of you right now. And then all of a sudden, this is over before you even realized it. And so that got my attention with, like, you have to live in this moment because this is all you really actually have. And it made me pause and then appreciate more, like Pumphrey was saying, that it goes by in the flash. And I've said this in the podcast, I think, before, too. One of the greatest things that a fellow teacher ever said to me when I was going through my internship, like, the days are long, but the years are short. And it seems like I just started this career. It seems like my children were just born. It seems like I just got married. It seems like we just started this podcast, and here it is almost over. All you have is this moment. So pay attention to that moment and cherish that and do what you can with it.
Yeah, that would be my X-Men ability, is to be able to live in the moment, because most of us are distracted by thoughts of the future or thoughts of the past. And man, that would be, some people can do that. Some people are much better at enjoying this. I am not. Also, I don't remember the last time I went to sleep and it went like that. I know the time.
Do you really? No, I don't.
That is my X-Men ability.
Wow.
Is I know what time it is about all the time at night. Like,
you're not really you're not deeply
3:10.
asleep then.
It's 3:12, and I'm like,
No, my thing is, like, I close my eyes and, like, poof. And I was like,
I envy that a little.
No.
I did that when I was a kid.
It's weird.
My name is Carter Meredith, and so imagine you're at a party. It's either with your bestest friends or your family members, but it's a potluck, and you get to bring any sort of food or snack or party appetizer. What are you bringing?
I'm bringing the drinks. I'll bring the drinks. I got the Dr. Pepper or the plates.
The drinks.
Napkins are always popular. Diedrich's bringing turkey.
She's got the turkey. Ham. It's ham now. You're bringing Uno. I know what you're bringing.
No, I am. I love to smoke meats.
What are you bringing to the get-together? The party?
Yeah, it has to be like a food or like get-together.
Okay,
potluck.
Yeah. Man,
I got the plates and forks.
I'm a big chips and dip kind of person. I like me some chips and dip, queso, salsa.
Now, between queso, guacamole, or salsa, which one are you picking?
I'm probably going queso.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, probably going queso.
I mean, I could be super specific, but ultimately, whatever the host needs me to bring.
There it is. She's a giver. Yeah, what can I pick up on my way? That's how much I thought I'm going to put into it.
Can I just cash app you, please?
All right.
Very cool. Thank you.
My name is Emily Williams, and my question is, how different do you think the outcome of World War II would have been if airplanes hadn't been invented yet?
Do you have World War II without airplanes?
We just got through kind of covering it, and the airplane was the thing. We built aircraft carriers just to carry airplanes from one place to another.
Right.
I mean, I guess it would be very much more similar to World War I then. More ground war, more tanks. More machine gun would be more important than bombs.
Trenches, yeah.
It would just depend on if there's another technology that replaced the airplane that could do something similar, like long-range artillery.
So, like, just sit out in the ocean with your big guns on your ships.
Yeah, coastal
and
guns and just shoot them 2 miles. If they were accurate enough, they weren't in World War I. If they were accurate enough in World War II, I would think, accurate artillery from miles away would be the thing that would replace the airplane.
It would be drastically different, though. I agree.
Hi, my name is Molly Outler, and my question is, what's the most influential album of the 1970s?
I'm just gonna kick myself out of this one now. I don't know.
Oh, come on.
When did Hendrix and Purple Haze?
No, that was all in the
60s. That's 67, 68?
Yeah. Black Sabbath.
I was thinking
maybe Sabbath.
1970s? Oh, I don't know.
Floyd and Zeppelin and any of those.
A lot of that's late 60s, though. So, yeah.
I might have to go with Black Sabbath because that launched.
Well, what about
Beat It was 81.
The Eagles Hotel California, maybe?
Yeah, it's so weird. You got so many huge ones in the 60s, and then you got like Michael Jackson and huge ones in the 80s.
Yeah.
That happened like in 81 on. So the 70s was just this kind of, this is kind of when
Yeah,
It's the 70s is a lot of second, third album for people, and that's the hard part because it's. And I need Google at times for questions like this.
The Bee Gees, the Saturday
The,
Night Fever soundtrack. That was
disco.
that was massively influential.
I don't know. Yeah, that's a good. Well, that's
boy.
Somebody Google that.
My name is Yasmin, and I was wondering, what's your favorite conspiracy theory?
The Kennedy assassination.
We'll go with the OG.
With the CIA, the Cuban mafia, the running of numbers in New York, all these different things are in there. The Bay of Pigs. It's been able to be unclassified numerous times, and Trump and Biden has refused or has reclassified it. One of them said, I think it's probably Trump that said this because this sounds like something he would say, if you knew what I knew, you would unclassify it. That has got to be my favorite one. And what's crazy is everyone that's involved is now dead, and why don't they unclassify it? What are they hiding? Sorry, I'm about to go down the tinfoil hat thing.
No, I think
love that one.
that's the classic. I think it is. And I think you said this was like the first major conspiracy theory.
First national conspiracy that lasted decades, and we still don't know. We're still talking about it. I mean, you have the moon landing and you have the alien stuff. I will switch if Area 51 really did have aliens and we find out it was all true, and maybe that would be a cooler one. But JFK conspiracy and the way the murderer died. The way Lee Harvey Oswald got shot by Jack Ruby on the way to trial or whatever.
You never got to testify.
Finding a perfect bullet. Oh, here it is. Here's the bullet. Nothing wrong with it. Oh, that's a
And then him going, so I'm the patsy.
Yeah. Oh, here comes the...
Yep.
We in trouble now.
Either
they
he
heard...
jaywalked or
is
we
this
got
live?
the
Is this going out on the internet right now?
What are they doing?
We're getting close to the truth of JFK, and the cops are... Sorry, everybody. We're going to edit this out, too, but we're staring
at
two police
it's the
officers.
Budweiser Clydesdales coming by collecting coffee.
Everybody
What a moment, everybody.
Yeah, let's pause and enjoy this. Yeah, cool. Look out the windows. Somebody video that. Oh, look, there's the Dalmatian. Like, that
There is a
is
Dalmatian.
cool.
Somebody grab one of those cases.
We talked about bringing stuff to a party. Now look.
That's what we do, folks.
Those horses are pretty large.
Yeah, they're man, that's awesome. We'll just let this be a moment.
Is this how Budweiser restocks all the bars? Man, this is fancy.
Hot Springs on the map.
He's going to start throwing out
bottles of beer.
Free beer.
That guy's fixing to snatch some. Look at him.
This is my favorite moment for the class of 2024 right now. Looking at the Budweiser Clydesdales live in person.
Have they been in Hot Springs before? I can't remember a time when they...
They really just
Came
handed
through
that
with the
guy
whole-
a case of
He
beer.
just gave that guy a case of beer.
Oh, now.
It's probably not real beer.
I'll go find out. All right. I guess we need to wrap. I mean, we're going to run out of time just staring out the window.
Yeah, sorry, yeah. So JFK, I think that's the one. Okay, all right, go ahead.
My name is Abigail Aldrich, and I would like to know what you all think about the artwork that is just a banana duct taped to a gallery wall.
It's challenging, I would say. Yeah. Somebody ate the banana, I think, and then they had to get another one and retape it. This is something we talk about in my art history class quite a bit. The modern art scene is meant to be enjoyed if you can. A lot of times, artists are going to challenge people to try to come up with some sort of way to appreciate it, as opposed to just a sort of a classic copying of whatever was in the past. Is it art, or am I just too stupid to understand that it's art? There's a lot of that challenging going on. So, I mean, conceptually, it's interesting. I don't know that we can classify it in the same way that you would, like, say, Renaissance art, but some people try. I don't know. It's a crazy one, though, right?
It definitely can be important if either a rich person buys it or a esteemed art historian or somebody says it's important.
What about a picture of a banana taped to the wall, signed by the photographer and the artist? Would that then become art because it's a picture, or if you had to turn it into a print and that's on everybody's T-shirts, now is it art? I mean, I don't know. Conceptually, it gets challenging, like I said. Yeah. Let's go.
My name is Teddy Headley, and with the war in Ukraine, the war in Gaza, and a potential war in Taiwan, which conflict do you think the U.S. has the greatest probability of being dragged into?
I think Taiwan.
Taiwan is the one I worried about. I actually said that today in class for some crazy reason. When the Ukraine thing happened, my first thing I think I text them is this the moment China moves on Taiwan and we're dragged into this thing?
You did say that.
I did say that. I don't know that we have the same zeal to protect Taiwan as we did. It's a very confusing story. If you don't know, we can talk about it later. But we open trade with China, communist China, recognize them, and kind of just don't talk about Taiwan.
I don't know that it's as likely, though. I mean, China has been making moves in the Pacific region to expand their influence. But because we're so heavily invested in each other's countries, do they actually take the risk? The one thing that I would say that might make them do that is that they're divesting from the United States and investing in other areas. India, very specifically, large parts of Africa, and if they don't need our trade as much as they used to, then maybe they go ahead and hit Taiwan and see what we do about it.
Well,
I don't know.
As the BRICS relationship grows, and I think a part of it was they saw our response in leaving Afghanistan. That was kind of murky. Then we kind of righted the ship as to, hey, we'll help out people that we're supposed to help out, or say we will with Ukraine. I think if Ukraine would have went quickly and in a different way, with Russia not getting bogged down, with not NATO and the United States helping out a lot on that, I think we might have saw that. But with how we keep pouring money into Ukraine, I think that gives Xi Jinping a little bit of pause. And also, I think one of the things with the election coming up, if you love them or you hate them, it doesn't matter. If someone like Trump's in office, I think sometimes it gives world leaders pause because he's really unpredictable as what his response is going to be. And if you cannot predict what a leader with that much power is going to do, it might make other people pause from doing something so drastic.
Well, maybe.
Also, if you look at the trends, it doesn't look like China's going to have a whole lot longer to exert as much influence as they've been able to exert. If you look at geopolitical trends around the world, so we'll see. All right. Next question.
Hi, my name is Jacob Moss, and now that the year is coming to an end, what is one thing you feel like you should change about your classroom?
Classroom or class management or teaching style, or what do you mean?
Teaching style, class management, something you feel like could be greater improved on.
Well, I just moved into my room when Nixon left, and I very much enjoy it. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some work in the summer. That we have this little extra room that I'm going to try to do some work on. I don't know that I like my wall people.
You're going to do that? You're going to redo that again?
I don't know. No, I don't like it though.
Like the fifth generation of that. I'm always trying to add to my knowledge base and try to learn more techniques and better questioning and trying to help people feel more comfortable, talking in class, that kind of thing. So it's definitely something that it's a constant though. Every year I want to try to improve in some way, but that's generally it. How can I get more people involved? Because usually you have some strong personalities that want to, be involved and they're good at it, but others, are less, or they're more hesitant, I should say. So how could I help them become more confident? Like that's a goal,
I think I want to add some more simulation type activities or more hands-on, a little less talking, more discussion.
Yeah, that's me. More interaction between the students. Sometimes it's trying to get so much in and you don't feel you have time for that, to let students do more.
I want to figure out a way to encourage students to learn the content outside of the classroom without reading quizzes. But if I take away the reading quizzes, it's a double-edged sword. I don't like them, they don't like them, but I don't know. So I would love to come up with different ways y'all tell us. All right, next question.
Hi, my name is Kate Espinoza, and I was wondering, what do you think the biggest flaw in the education system is?
Oh, well, if you'd asked me that a year and a half ago, I would have maybe had a different answer. But in Arkansas, I would still say that the implementation of the LEARNS Act is having a major, and it will continue to have a major negative impact on public education.
Philosophically, teaching all kids the same in these little rooms and training them to go to college when obviously we need more options. It's logistics, really. It's money and logistics. Kids have different talents, different skills, different attention spans, different parents, but we try to streamline this same education and treat everyone the same when that's not the best way. I like the academy system that Europe does a little more, where you can specialize when you get a little bit older. But I don't logistically. That's the whole thing. Is like how do you do that? I don't like the fact that we just string. And even our administrators would admit that we need more ROTC opportunities. We need more vocational opportunities.
Agri.
Yeah, music, drama, the whole thing. Like we need more. Just a little bit of everything, and not just say college.
Well, I would say how we fund the school system is really broken. And you saw that with the LEARNS Act now, and how the money is going to start shifting and just going. You can always follow the money. If we can figure out if I could king for a day and snap your fingers, it would be automatic funding for any program that a school could say they needed for the kids. And you just leave out so many. And I was telling our administration this, and I understand the formula. I know how it works. But you give me a room of 15 kids, and I can do so much more with 15 kids than I can with 28 or 30. And if I can give those kids an opportunity to do something they really, to Pumphrey's stance, of something they really, really want to do and really want to go down a path towards exploring when they're a sophomore, when they're a junior, to lead them into a future life. But we're in this narrow thing. Well, this is all we have the money for, so this is all we can do, and we're kind of stuck in that. So,
well, to add on to that, just really quickly, our money formula is backwards in a lot of other countries too, Europe and specifically parts of Asia, where administrators make more than teachers in this country, whereas in other places it's the other way around. Because teaching is the art and it's the skill, and that's why you're there. Administrators are clerical in other countries, and that's not the focal point. Whereas here, there are a lot of people, if they feel that they're going to be able to advance in education at all, they're going to get out of the classroom and they're going to get into administration as quickly as they can, because that's where the money is. But that doesn't mean that it improves education. So that's something for us to think about in the future as well, although I don't think it'll change. If we're going to model ourselves after successful programs elsewhere, that's the way they do it, or that's where they start anyway.
Yep.
I think there's a major flaw in us letting politicians that have never stepped foot in a classroom a day in their life make decisions for us.
Yep, I second that. All right, very good question. Next question. We're going to finish up real quick. We got 3 more.
My name is William Dozier, and what allowed the South American Native people and the Southern North American Native people to reach the empire stage of civilization, and then what limited the people north of them to the tribal stage?
Geography, I think, is one of the biggest things that you would talk about there.
Yeah, if you look at the big empires across where they ended up, a lot of it's horizontal climate, availability of water. That's where the cultures developed first. Water, those basic things. But I do think animals played a big role in the empires really becoming building the Colosseum and, advancing. I don't know, I wouldn't call it advancing more, but creating the societies that we're more accustomed to, as opposed to the Native Americans. I think the ox and horse and all of that played a large role in building those. You needed big animals to move big things, and that was useful for the people in the Eastern Hemisphere.
Geography and militancy, because without beast of burden here in the Americas, then you had to use human labor more than anything else, and so you had to be able to organize that and sometimes force that. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, my name's Addison Frazier, and I was wondering, hypothetically, if you guys were in some sort of action movie, what would y'all's battle songs be?
You ever heard the song Warrior by Volbeat?
Yeah.
Let's get ready to feel the fire into the realm. When I hear that song, it makes me want to run through a wall. So it's either that or, Down with the Sickness or something. Just some drum-heavy song. But Warrior, Volbeat, it's probably rated PG. You can go listen to it. Jam out to it.
I'm a big fan of Welcome to the Jungle, probably.
Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah, it has a lot of energy there that I could probably fight to. Yeah.
Pantera, vulgar display of album conceit. Regular people listen to it. It's a great song. It'll get you fired up and ready to fight somebody.
I would want my song to be something that nobody else would consider a fight song, but just for me. So this is my answer, and I would put money that Pumphrey doesn't know the song, so he probably can't see it. Beauty and a Beat by Justin Bieber.
Beauty and the Beat?
Do you know it? Please know that.
Say you know it. Say take her money.
I know a lot of Bieber, but I can't think of that one anyway.
You need that on a T-shirt somewhere. I know a lot of Bieber.
Oh, I do. It was everywhere. Yeah, by the way, look up the Mongolian, the Who, that throat singing.
Oh, those guys, yeah.
That'll make your skin crawl, too.
Indeed, yep.
Look the song up.
All right.
Got homework.
Wrap it
Look
up.
the song up, and I love your shirt, by the way.
All right.
Thank you. Okay, my name's Claire Hudnall, and with graduation season, thinking back to y'all's high school, it can be any time in high school, was there a teacher or class that like you remember impacting the decisions that you made like post high school?
I will not name names, but I had a lot of teachers who taught me how not to be in the classroom because of their A, ineptitude, B, apathy, or C, arrogance. And that automatically turned me off. I was a student who, and not that I needed praise, but I respected people who were there to do their job for the right reasons. And there were people who were there who I thought was like, you're just making a paycheck and you're killing time. And I still, this many years later, I still resent that. And I'm determined to never be those people.
I had a basketball coach named Gary Shoptaw who took our team when I was young and, made me a better player. But I just loved the way he coached and how serious and like he wasn't the most emotional. He didn't yell at you. And I took a lot of those lessons when I started coaching and when I started teaching, that I didn't want to yell at people and I wanted to be serious, and I don't know, his organization too, just ready to go every day. I really appreciated him. So that I got some stuff from him for sure.
I would say Vicki Glover, my junior English teacher. She loved music. She had this big quote. It wasn't a quote, just 2 words, carpe diem, up on her wall. She always stressed to us the importance of that. And you guys write essays all the time. It was a big deal for us. It was called a term paper, and you had to do it, and you had to travel to a library and work for hours and the little things, looking up the stuff. And she let me do my junior term paper on Metallica. And I thought that was the greatest thing in the world, because she said, "Are you interested in it?" I said, "It's my favorite band." And she goes, "If that's your passion, do it." I was like, okay. And that to me was a teacher that thought out the box, and I didn't care about anything school back then. Whatever. But she let me do something I really, really enjoyed and really loved, and kind of went from there. So
She should have made you write about the Beatles. That would have been better. That would have been a good lesson.
That's my senior.
I feel as though I was lucky enough to have a lot of teachers that poured into me, like personally, and took the time to get to know me personally. And that taught me that there is times as a teacher it's not always about the content. There's times when you need to be there for that student as a person. Just recently, when my grandma passed, I went back and found my AP Lang project. And you might think, what does your AP Lang have anything to do with like your grandma passing? She made us sit down with a person of importance to us. And that was our AP Lang project for that entire year. And so I got to go back and read conversations that I had with my grandma, and that poured into me, and I will remember that for the rest of my life. It has nothing to do with AP Lang. I do not remember a single thing from AP Lang, but I appreciate her not forcing me, but allowing me to spend that time with my grandma.
Nice. That is a super way to wrap up the 2024 season. Thank you, Collective Coffee, for having us down one last time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll see you later.
Graduating class 2024.
Goodbye.